Was there an aspect of race with Kennedy Carter's foul on Caitlin Clark, or was that more of just an easy dot for the media to connect?
Oh, I mean, do I think Kennedy Carter fouled Caitlin Clark because she's a white girl? No, I think that is a wild accusation. I have no reason to believe that. Do I think how it was covered, there was a racial aspect? Obviously. The Chicago Tribune, Kennedy Carter's not hometown, but the Chicago Sky paper doesn't have an editorial from the editorial board, not from one person, the view of the newspaper saying that's an assault if it happens outside of a sporting contest, if it's not a black girl fouling a white girl. I don't think that, so I do think there was undoubtedly a racial component to the coverage of it. Again, people have to be comfortable acknowledging there is a thing I've said for a long time, which is one of my biggest frustrations with people as a whole, is that there is a group of folks that are more bothered by accusations of racism than actual racism. They have more problem with people bringing up race as a factor than they do with actual cut and dry instances of racism. I think those people are abhorrent. And I think that a first cousin of that is people who are allergic to acknowledge, listen, the way the Iowa women's team versus the LSU women's team was covered for a post-championship game, there was a lot of race involved in that. It's undeniable. You have this overwhelmingly black team that beat an overwhelmingly white team, and the overwhelmingly white team was feted as if they were co-champions. They weren't. They got literally also invited to the White House. I mean, now, was all of that race? No. Was some of it race? Was the fact that they were the villains and they were the dirty debutantes? Was part of that race? Of course. But would Caitlin, and is there an element of Caitlin Clark's is there a percentage of Caitlin Clark's popularity that is because she's white? Sure. Is it the majority? I don't believe so at all. Is it even a large percentage? I don't believe so. But to act like it's 0%, I think is denying kind of realities of America. Also, in a similar way, I think that I don't think it is problematic if, I don't know how to say this right. I'll use I think there was a period of time when there were not many black quarterbacks at all in the league. Now that almost all the best quarterbacks are black. I shouldn't say all, but you know what I mean? A lot of the best quarterbacks are black. But when there weren't many, I don't think it was controversial to say that there were a lot of black Americans that didn't, if their team wasn't in it, you know what I mean? They were Mike Vick or Randall Cunningham fans. Like, hey, that's our guy, right, kind of fighting against the odds. Women's basketball is weird because so many of the best ever are white women, but it is still a majority black sport. So I think there were some casual, if less than casual fans that saw Caitlin Clark and assigned underdog status to her because she was a white girl. Yeah, I think they did. And even though she's not an underdog, and even though she's a shit talker and taunts and does all that same stuff, I think people did it. I don't think it's dangerous or problematic to acknowledge that or to be able to discuss that.